fathers here, and if not, you had a father and you had an uncle or somebody in your life who was like a father. So celebrate Father's Day. For introduction today, we start with Tango Zulu. Where's he? Tango Zulu not here. Introductions today. Introduce yourself.
I already did.
Oh, did you? Wasn't there? Never.
We didn't remember. We don't remember.
That's right. That's right. Kilo Mike.
Kent Sorensen, live outside of Houston. And let's see, what questions are we supposed to be answering?
What brought you into Soaring? When did you take your first glider flight?
Okay, first glider ride, let's see, I was on a family vacation. I was in high school, I think, or junior high school. I got a ride in the 233 at Chemung County Airport in Bernie Terre. At the very beginning. But I didn't do much after that. And then I actually started soaring in earnest at a glider school in Germany, Segelflugschule Erlinghaus. A big school in Germany. My dad worked for Ford of Europe for 8 years, and I went over one summer on a two-week crash course and got solo. And that was the beginning. And I have been doing it ever since and keep doing it because I like fun with it.
Oscar Sierra.
I already introduced myself, but I took my first glider ride 2 years ago, last month, and I got my license in October, and all right here at Caesars Creek, and it's been great. Been enjoying it since.
Alpha One.
Okay, for you, MOV and Wholesale with the Nick, and I fly at the Soaring Gliding Club in Ontario. That's CANADA. And my wife and partner of 42 years is my crew and Marine, and I've been doing this for quite a while, actually over 50 years. I took my first winch tow when I was 13. Which was about a 10-minute ride, and we got all the way up to 1,200 feet. And it was a gliding field right next to where we lived. And they actually started that gliding field when I was 13, and I was flying models before that. And as far as I can remember, I built little airplanes. So I soloed when I was 14 as an air cadet at that airfield. And I got my license when I was 16. Dutch license number 5160, I still remember that. And so when we came to Canada, I had done quite a bit of instructing in home. I had over 3,000 winch launches and 200 hours. That works out to about 7 minutes of flight.
Yeah, there you go.
So now, after all these years, I've been flying for over 40 some odd years in Canada. I now have 4,500 flights and about 5,000 hours. So I made up for it. And also interesting, I built my first glider in 77, 78, in the living room, an RS-15. Yeah, we moved into this house and it had no basement, but I really wanted to build an airplane, and so I had to convert the garage to family room and a bedroom so that we could live in there, so I could use the living room to build this glider. Anyway, that took me about 2 years, and I flew that RS-15 quite a bit and got into competition in 1978. And actually after that, I built an HB-18 that my son is still flying. I finished that in 1991. Unfortunately, I gave it to him to fly, and all he had to do was put insurance on it, but he's always too busy doing other things and always short of money. So that airplane has 300 hours on it since 91. So that's a shame, basically. I built a third glider that I finished in 2001, which is some people call it a Franken glider, because it's built out of 5 different gliders. You people have probably seen it. I flew it at the 18 meters in Albert Lee because Rick Walters was flying my Alice 10, and I wanted to be there, so I took my whole build and I flew it there. That hasn't flown a lot, and currently I'm finishing off an RV6, and I have a flying RV6 in a hangar in the backyard. We have a 2,000 foot by 100 feet strip, and so I fly a finished RV6 out of that as well. So our life is flying.
I think ever since conception, I never really had a choice. My dad, Monty Sullivan, he's been doing it since he was 13 or 14 years old. Ever since I could carry a towel dolly, I was helping out. I remember when I was 12 years old, helped my dad put the Nimbus 4 together on the Uvalde tarmac. Let's see. I flew my first contest with my dad the spring before I soloed, before my 14th birthday, in Perry. I think that's really what hooked me. I soloed on my 14th birthday, got my license summer of my 16th birthday, flew my first contest that next spring when I was 16 years old, my first nationals when I was 17 years old, and been doing it ever since. It's an addiction. I'm around it all the time. When I was 16 years old, my dad and I found a wreck LaBelle, and we built it. It was totaled. We rebuilt it, and that's what I learned to fly competition in, and just moved up ever since. I love it. It's an addiction. Went to the Junior Worlds last summer, and it's amazing. I don't know what else I would be doing, so I'm doing it.
One thread I see in here that's pretty consistent between giving up living rooms and going to work to buy gliders. All these guys have a pretty patient and understanding and very, very forgiving of space and time wife. We're going to fly dry today. The field is, for safety reasons, is just on the edge, and I just think that's the best thing we can do. Weather is going to be supporting you to fly dry too, so I think this is working out well. Mr. Bourgeois has a safety talk.
Good morning, I'm Roy Bourgeois, and I wanted to just share an incident that happened to me earlier this year. Every year I fly in South Africa about 50 hours a year, and always in the same glider, which is a Nimbus 3. And this year the Nimbus 3 was basically the same, except it had been fitted with a PDA cradle on the right-hand side of the panel. And I've got some photographs I'm going to show you in a minute if I can just get this started. And Dan, would you call up that program and then get the slideshow ready? We fly in Bloemfontein, where very high density altitude. We're at 4,000 feet elevation. Temperatures frequently over 31, 32 degrees Celsius. Fairly anemic Cessna 182 tow planes. So you spend a lot of time in a fully ballasted Nimbus bouncing around, doing the mashed potato, trying to keep the wings level. And on this particular day, it was my 8th flight this year. I was about 200 feet away from the wing runner, bouncing around with a full load of water ballast, 25 meters of glider, and I put the stick over hard to get the left wing up, and the ailerons locked in the full right position. Everything started happening real fast at that point, as number one, I was trying to figure out why when I was pulling on the aileron, it was pulling back. I was going for the release lanyard. I yanked real hard, there was a pop, and all of a sudden I had aileron control again, and I continued with the launch. What had happened was this. During the bouncing, the PDA cradle, which was on gooseneck, just like your microphones, and some of you are using the same type of system, was bouncing up and down. And what happened was the push to talk button on the stick had got